Hey, what up? What up? Just want to make a quick video. Um, and it's not something that probably people don't know. I think probably people already know this. But I just want to say this: like, yes, a skilled fighter, a good boxer, they do have a lot of advantages in within that square circle. Like they say, a lot of people say, um, skills pay the bills, and that's true. But styles makes fights, and that's also true on the other hand. And so what I mean by style makes fights, the boxer or the more skilled fighter, especially from a aesthetic standpoint, they don't win all the time. They don't win all the time. The skilled fighter does not win all the time. The better boxer does not win all the time. A lot of times, a lot of these brawlers, or what we call a fighter, win fights a lot of time. Beat these, skilled fighters that we call. A lot of times, skilled fighters, they do lose, and so that notion, or that saying that skills pay the bills, they do pay the bills, but sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes that fighter may come upon a style of fighter or a particular fighter they just can't deal with. Case in point, we have very skilled boxers who don't live up to, we could say, potential. Not to say they didn't do really good and they haven't been world champion, but there are some skilled fighters that they've lost to certain opponents. You're like, how did they lose? You get what I'm saying? And so, case in point, Adrian Broner. I think he's probably the biggest case of what we talk about. Skills don't always pay the bills all the time. Whether it's stuff happening outside the ring that may conflict on how he performs inside the ring. But Adrian Broner is probably the biggest, I guess you can say, example of skills not always paying the bills. To me, he was more skilled than, you could say, Maidana. But Maidana, I guess he was a bigger fighter. And it was his first time fighting at 147. So we can put that to a side a little bit. I thought he was definitely more skilled than Shawn Porter. Everything, offensively and defensively, but he couldn't deal with Shawn Porter. That's a great example. Mikey Garcia is not a terrible fighter, but I thought he was more talented and just as skilled as Mike Garcia, if not more. And he lost to Mikey Garcia, who was around the same, or if not smaller than Adrian Broner. And then he's went on to have some other fights with some, Jesse Vargas and these other guys, and had subpar performances against these other guys who you thought he would just outclass. You get what I'm saying? And so skills does not always pay the bills all the time. We got this other guy named Montana Love. He just lost to this guy named, I think, from Europe, named Paro. From the outside of it, he looked like he'd be more skilled than him, but no. He got outworked, out hustled, and everything. I could name other skilled fighters who fall in that same line of not performing to their best abilities, or what we would thought they would. Who else? Man. Some may say Mayweather too at some point when he fought. And I'm a huge Mayweather fan or supporter. I think he's like one of my favorite. That's the reason why I started watching boxing. But his fight against was it Castillo? It was very highly contested, and the first fight was really highly contested, and he's like deemed as the most, skilled and the most defensively sound fighter. And so it goes to say that styles make fights. Styles make fights. So skills do not always pay the bills the way people think they do. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a pressure fighter who's always on you, on top of you, is just a bad recipe for you. Sometimes great boxers don't know how to fight. You get what I'm saying? They don't know how to brawl. Sometimes they don't know how to do that. And sometimes brawlers or fighters don't know how to box. And they just don't have the talent. They don't have the talent or the athleticism, the intangibles to contend with a boxer. And so it goes both ways. It definitely goes both ways. So I think that's very important to be noted. Not only that, the only way not being a great brawler and just being a great boxer can work for you, not sometimes, but the only way that will work for you is if you have immense power. And so you can get away with, I guess you can say, not having so much activity during some of the rounds. And I think the only person in the whole boxing world that has that, and not saying he can't brawl, is Gervonta Davis. He's the only one that could be a very skillful boxer and kind of stall out rounds, and because of his power. He's probably the only boxer in the world who's in the top percent of being a great boxer and having great power. And I think it's him and Inoue is probably the two fighters that have great power and great A+ skills. Those are the two only boxers I see in the game that has that. The other boxers or the fighters, they probably fall in between a little bit. Actually, I would put Ennis up there too. Those three fighters. I can't really put Terrence Crawford there because I don't know, his last couple of performances kind of sus to me in terms of him being a elite level fighter when it comes to having power. His last couple of performances kind of sus to me, so I can't really put him up there. But yeah, but they're the only fighters, those three fighters, I could say that are really good boxers and just having incredible power. I can't put Beterbiev there. I think he has good power, but I don't know if his skills is as skillful as those guys, like, A+. But he still is gonna beat a lot of guys. So at the end of the day, but that's just my opinion. But those guys can do everything. But in particular, they have really good skills and they have really good power. And especially Tank can get away with a lot of times people say Tank is not losing a lot of these rounds. That's not what's going on. But I could talk about that another time. But that's just my opinion. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later.